today's show.
Kawhi saves the Raptors season again, but are the Bucks still in control of the East Finals?
Chris Bosch is here to talk about being LeBron's teammate, if the Warriors are more fun without Kevin Durant, and to play Explain That Round.
And we discuss whether the banged-up Blazers can avoid the brooms.
It's Monday, May 20th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm J.E. Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. We got the Aussie Lee Ellison over yonder. That's the bearded one, that's Trey Kirby. Hey, yo! Trey, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, earlier today, Magic Johnson went on ESPN's First Take to talk about why he left the Lakers, and things got a little bit awkward when he couldn't remember Nick Young's nickname.
D'Angelo, great guard, but had a problem when Shaggy P and the whole thing went down, so I knew I had to get him out.
Shaggy P was my favorite on Scooby-Doo, and this brings us to today's question. What is your favorite awkward NBA interview? For instance, good luck beating the time Stan Van Gundy and Dwight Howard had a Diet Pepsi showdown.
But I ain't worried about that. So.
Yeah, Stan, we're not worried about that, right?
That's what I just said. We got to be worried about winning games.
Yeah, what's our main concern right now? Jameer.
We have to stop Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks tonight.
And the New York Knicks.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the plan, right?
That is the plan. That's what I just said.
Is Dave Ping here today? The guy who started this BS?
I don't see Ping here.
Me neither.
Are you guys done with me?
Let's all
You can talk to him now.
All right. Yeah, good luck beating that one, but we want to hear from you. So let us know on Twitter, what is your favorite awkward NBA interview? Send them to us at #TheStarters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get your tweets in. On tonight's show, Chris Bosch is going to join us live in studio to talk some hoops. We're going to look ahead to Game 4 between the Warriors and Blazers in Portland. We got a very solid play, but let's start with a little true or false looking back of Game 3 from the Eastern Conference Finals. Trey.
The Raptors aren't extinct yet. That's right. It took a couple of overtimes, but Toronto pulled out a win last night as Kawhi Leonard scored a game-high 36 points while sticking Giannis Antetokounmpo on the other end, all while playing a career-high 52 minutes. Going down 3-0 would have been a death sentence, so true or false? Kawhi saved the Raptors season again.
Yes, he's doing a lot. He definitely is, like a true superstar does. He's putting this team on his back. It was a really gritty team Raptors win. A lot of guys contributed, but I think Kawhi can even be better. I know it's asking a lot, especially the way he's injured, but I expect the Bucks to bounce back, and Kawhi is going up against Chris Middleton and Malcolm Brogdon, usually on the offensive end, who've done a really good job at forcing him left because he loves going right. But he shot 11 of 25 in this game, and I think he could do even better than that. That's how great he is right now. He's great defensively, as Trey mentioned, sticking Giannis for most of the game. But on the offensive end, I think he can get to his spots a little bit better. Try and get there a little bit quicker. I know he likes to be slow and surgical, but they're forcing him left, and they've done the best job out of any team so far in the postseason at forcing him there. I think Kawhi is the key to Game 4 when, again, the Raptors season is on the line for me. I think they need another great performance, maybe even a little bit more because the Bucks are going to bounce back.
Well, I say it's false because Kawhi was his brilliant self. He's been brilliant these entire playoffs. I think the reason the Raptors won is because other guys contributed a lot early on both ends of the floor. And that's really what's been missing from Toronto these playoffs. When they lose and when they have bad games, you look around the box score and there's not a lot of contributors. This time, for the first time, Norm Powell came off the bench, hit some shots, even though he fouled out. But he was out there contributing. Marc Gasol played easily his best game.
Hit 2 threes in the first quarter.
Key. And again, it's that getting those off to that early start, because if Kawhi is going to be asked to guard Giannis, which I guess that's going to be the way for the rest of this series.
I don't see how it's not.
No, of course. Then Kawhi can't be expected to then also carry the offensive load. Other guys have to step up and start hitting shots. Danny Green, Fred VanVleet, hit a shot. One of them, seriously.
Well, they had timely shots in Game 3, but only one each. No, you're right.
But that to me, though, is the key. These other guys now have got, they have to do it. They have to step up. And again, Fred, I know, has been struggling, but Danny Green is a vet he's a champion. He's been in this situation. Can you imagine Greg Popovich if Danny Green was playing this bad? he would be screaming at him, saying, get out of this slump and go and hit some shots, because the Raptors need that badly, and they will need that a lot more if they are to stay alive in this series.
I think it is true, though, with just Kawhi here, saving their season again, because the guy, he really is a machine. He's sort of unflappable, even when he's not having the most efficient night. He got better as this game went on, despite being banged up very early in the game. Visibly, he was limping. Something was wrong with the leg. He says he's going to be fine to go in Game 4 because they'll just get some new parts and plug them in, tinker with them a little bit. But he's a machine. The guy had 19 points in the fourth quarter and then in the overtimes. Had some boards, some huge timely steals, shot 6 of 12. Like, he sort of got a little bit better as the game went on. Now, a part of that was Middleton getting in some foul trouble, and then Brogdon having to guard him. And he's a little too big, Kawhi is, and he can sort of bully Brogdon a little bit more. They've done a great job, don't get me wrong, but this is now the third, fourth, fifth time in these playoffs that Kawhi has sort of saved the Raptors. I mean, you can't go down 3-0. We all know it would have been a wrap. And now it gets a little interesting as we head into Game 4.
Yeah, it took them 2 overtimes, and Kawhi was there right until the end, carrying this team offensively. And defensively, they asked him for the first time to stick Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just like in the last series when their backs were against the wall against the Sixers, they asked him to guard Jimmy Butler in Game 7. It came a lot earlier in this series because their backs are against the wall. So, yeah, he might have to do that in Game 4. Pascal Siakam, I think, also did a really good job helping out on Giannis.
All these clips you just saw then, Kawhi is sort of the primary guard here, but then other guys are coming over to help and contest those shots. And
it's not one-on-one.
Giannis, when he got to the free throw line, kind of was a little bit rattled. They were very physical with him last night, and you could tell that had an impact on him. He fouled out, didn't have a great game, but still, the Raptors have got to make him obviously feel uncomfortable, and it's not just Kawhi who can do that.
No, it's
everybody has to.
And Kawhi even talked about that after the game. You can't just stop this MVP, what's going to be the MVP of this year, just one-on-one. I mean, I'll try my best, but we need help, and they did a great job. Trey, next one.
They say a series doesn't really start until the home team loses, but I just checked, and the Bucks are still up 2-1 on the Raptors. Pretty close to being 3-0 last night. Furthermore, Toronto has lost at least one home playoff game in all but one of their series since 2013. Guys, true or false? The Bucks are still in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You think so?
The Raps won by the skin of their teeth when the Bucks' 3 stars, Bledsoe, Middleton, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, had bad offensive nights. And let's start with Giannis. He had a 12-point night. His lowest total since he first got into the playoffs in 2015. That's his lowest total. So you expect him to bounce back with a big number. When he had a bad game in round 1, he had a 14-point game against the Pistons. He bounced back with 41 points. And then Chris Middleton and as well Eric Bledsoe, both 3 for 16. You'd expect all 3 of those guys, starting with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He missed a lot of shots that he should have hit, that he can hit. He's an MVP. There will be a bounce-back game, and this Bucks team just doesn't lose 2 nights in a row. They're just that good. So, yeah, they are still in control.
Yeah, it pains me to say this as a Raptors fan, but it felt like the Raptors had no right to really win that Game 3, and in a way they should be down 3-0, because what I mean by that is there was a lot of embarrassing sort of live ball turnovers, especially early in this game. I know the one that everyone's talking about was the Marc Gasol discus throw where he had a layup and chucked it to half court. But they also gave up some back-breaking offensive rebounds. Raptors would play great defense for 20 to 24 seconds. They'd get the stop, and then there were the Bucks sort of getting a little easy bunny inside because they just sort of had given up on the rest of the possession, couldn't close out the possession by grabbing the rebound. They got the benefit of the whistle, I think, too. I know there were some bad calls, but the Raps at home, I think that they got the more favorable whistle, even though some of their guys fouled out. And then, of course, Giannis did, too, on a bang-bang, was it a block or a charge? And then the other thing is, the Raptors they had a chance to ice this game. I mean, this shouldn't even have gone to overtime. Kawhi shouldn't have been asked to play more minutes. If Siakam hits some free throws late, they tried to give it away, is what I'm getting at here. So I'm a little worried heading into Game 4. I still think if you have all these guys contributing, again, Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry, who was a plus 15 before fouling out, he was contributing. These guys got to hit shots and help Kawhi out. We could be going back to Milwaukee here, tied 2-2, but the Bucks are going to play much better. Just like you called after Game 1, which the Bucks even won, felt like they maybe stole, and then hammered them in Game 2.
That's what good teams do.
Yeah.
Even if the Bucks lose, they still have home court advantage for those next 3 games in Game 4. And you just feel that effort from Toronto last night to win. They have to now replicate that a night later with maybe Kawhi a little banged up. And I think that's the thing for the Bucks. They know that they almost went up 3-0. They only have to tighten up a few things, get Giannis to the free throw line a little bit earlier, maybe get some free throws, and they're going to be in control. And again, that bench, Brogdon and George Hill, those guys were just very, very good. That gives me a little more confidence than the Raptors.
Well, you have more confidence in those guys shooting better than maybe
Norm Powell and
Danny Green and Van
exactly,
Vliet
that's
going
what
2
I mean.
for 20
Like those other guys, I think, are just going to be a little more, just better in that fourth game, then I think the Raptors can replicate.
Raptors got to continue to make this ugly, though. Make this a rock fight. I mean, it's their best chance to win this game and maybe this series. All right, we got to take a break. Lots more still to come on the show tonight. In fact, when we come back, there he is!
Yeah.
NBA champion Chris Bosh is back in studio. Don't go anywhere. Ah!
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome back to the Starters guest season in full effect, and we're happy to have back two-time NBA champion and now two-time Starters guest, Chris Bosh.
How's it going, man?
How's it going? Appreciate
doing?
you coming
Good.
by. Which sounds cooler, being a two-time NBA champion or two-time Starters guest?
Man, right now the Starters has a real nice ring
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
what I thought.
I'm not a starter anymore. man.
Well, we got a lot to get to here. We're going to play a fun little game in a second, but I wanted to start with the Lakers because they had an interesting day. We saw Magic Johnson on First Take on ESPN this morning, sort of, airing the dirty laundry, so to speak, of the Lakers. They've had a weird couple months. He quit, and then Luke Walton gets fired. Now, you played with LeBron. You have a relationship with even Rob Pelinka. Mm-hmm. Could this be affecting the Lakers? All this drama surrounding them right now, the front office. Their potential free agencies, getting guys to come play for them?
Well, I mean, everything is timely.
Yeah.
It's coming at the wrong time. It seems to be something that the more they try to clean up, the worse it gets.
Yep.
And it's just messy and it's just amazing and everybody loves it.
Right. I mean, it is fun to talk about. That's for sure. As a free agent, I mean, you've been in that position. You're obviously sort of trying to figure out where would be a good fit, both on the court, but are you also thinking about the structure of an organization from top to bottom? Yeah, that comes into play.
I mean, that goes, that's one of the underestimated things that get overlooked.
Right.
Especially in the pitch. One of the main things that teams try to do, especially as you're older, as an older player, you have to remember that usually when guys come into mega free agent situations, they're 28, 29, maybe have families, maybe more mature than they were when they were drafted. So the allure of the city, the abilities, the comfortabilities, to live, where are my kids going to go to school? These all play factors in everything. And in their case, media attention.
Sure.
I mean, they're getting talked about. If Golden State wins tonight, it'll be like, oh yeah, Golden State swept the Blazers anyway to Magic.
Right.
And that's just the nature of the beast. So I mean, if somebody has to keep that in mind if they really, really want to be there to play.
For sure. Well, congratulations, belated congratulations on having your Bosh 1 jersey go up.
Oh, thank you.
In the rafters in Miami. That was back in March. What do you remember from that night? The speech, the yelling, and all that? The whole thing with Blur, or what? Can you remember specific moments?
Well, I knew I wanted to yell. I mean, I knew I wanted to do that because I can't do that at the grocery store. I can't be at the post office and be like, ah.
But you've got 5 kids, so you can do it.
I can't yell at them either.
No, not in this environment. No.
Oh no, I'll be public enemy number 1, man.
Right.
But it was great just to be back in that, ambiance, because you realize how special it is and how fun it is to play in front of 20,000 people a night, and just to have that back and to feel that was amazing, and to have my children there, my family, my father. We got some great pictures and stuff like that. So I'm very, very happy for it.
Awesome. Well deserved, of course. Game 4 of the West Finals tonight. You talked about it there. The Warriors might close out the Blazers. But they've been doing this interestingly, the Warriors, because they lose Kevin Durant in the Rockets series. They close that out. They've been rolling this series. Draymond playing well, Curry and Clay doing their part. I'm not going to ask you if the Warriors are better without Kevin Durant, because we think that's sort of silly. Maybe you do too as well.
Of course.
But as a fan, are the Warriors more enjoyable? Are they more fun to watch in a weird way when KD isn't in the mix?
Well, it just depends on what you like.
Right.
I think without KD, it's more of the Hoosiers style team over man. But when you have a 7-foot guy who's that talented, give him the ball. That's equally as fun to watch.
A sound strategy. Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I love him just seeing him shoot over people and score 40 points a game. It's amazing, But I think it all just comes down to preference. But I have to give credit to the Warriors. I mean, not that I was doubting them, but when KD went down, you think that they're going to take a hit. And I mean, they just keep running. They find a way to get better. Bell, Draymond Green played amazing in Game 3. He put his emphasis on the game and put the team on his back. It's just been amazing to watch them really just persevere through everything and not miss a beat.
Sure.
Chris, keep everything on the level here. We all admire your Instagram account.
It's a good account.
You do great work, and that's why we wanted to show you some of the photos, and for you to explain a little bit more about each one. So we're going to play a little Explain That Gram with Chris Bosch. All right, so we're going to show you one here. Drinking with the giraffe. What was going on here?
Yeah, that was that was like a Got Milk campaign.
Right.
Man, it was starting to be a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think that was like 10 years. No, that was like that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Beijing?
It was right after. I think.
Oh, right. Wow.
And you know, I got a deal, and it was pretty funny too. We funny quick story. They tried to bring the giraffe out to All-Star, and the giraffe started freaking out. It was crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was.
So
2011 All-Star game in LA.
They were going to bring the
tried to
giraffe.
bring the same
They
giraffe.
weren't going to. The giraffe was there.
That's incredible.
And you know, there was a lot of people, and it started kind of
flopping around.
I was like, oh,
Big weird horse.
because I did a picture with that, and then I said, oh yeah, you know the giraffe's coming. I said, oh yeah, I remember the giraffe, but this one was way bigger.
Wow.
That's why we play Explain the Gram.
I must have drank a lot of milk. It grew. Okay, next one here. Visiting Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Colin Jost.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Fun experience, right?
Yeah, so we have some good friends. Keenan Thompson is a good friend, and I've been to Saturday Night Live a couple times. My wife was actually there to see the finale on Saturday. So you know, they're really good friends, he and his wife, and you know, I love that stuff.
The Weekend Update, best part, right?
What's that?
The Weekend Update is the best
Oh
part.
yeah, and that's my favorite part. That is 100% my favorite part. So when I saw him, you know, we're mutual fans of each other. So
Cool. Next one here, you doing a cannonball. It's coming. There it is. What's going on here?
I forgot where I was. I think it was like Italy. Yeah,
That looks like off a boat.
That's how good your Instagram account is. I don't know where I was.
Living the
I
life.
just like the shorts. You know, I think the cannonball matches the shorts. You know, I was feeling real festive that day, man.
Our man Trey loves doing cannonballs. That's what he does.
Look at
That's all I
that.
do in the summer.
Hey.
These are like his mixtapes here.
Yeah, you jumped off a boat, but if you ever want to jump into a 4-foot tall pool, bring the kids. We'll go crazy.
Hey, for sure. I got a lot
Water
of
will
kids.
come up to
Hey.
your knees, probably.
Hey, don't make promises, man. I'm kids off, man.
The invitation is open. Be in the pool, be a good time.
All right, that's all the time we got. Appreciate you coming on, Chris.
Oh, of course. Thank you, guys.
Have a great
This
night
is awesome.
here. We got more coming up, more on the Lakers front office situation and Damian Lillard's rib situation.
Gee.
More coming up on the Starters.
Welcome back to the Starters. Haven't played this in a while. Is this news? Trey got some headlines for us.
Our first headline comes from Bleacher Report. Magic Johnson says Rob Pelinka betrayed him in the final straw with the Luke Walton firing. Is this news? Good
Get
morning.
your popcorn this morning.
This was crazy, Magic. I'll give Magic credit, though, that he didn't hold back this morning. Like, he didn't try to sugarcoat anything. He let it all out.
Right.
And we sort of had a hunch that this was something to do with Rob Pelinka when Magic abruptly resigned. And, he kind of opened up about it today and just said, you know, Rob was backstabbing him, according to Magic.
He put a name to that backstabbing comment that he made when he first abruptly resigned, and he said it was Pelinka,
And Rob kind of denied that at the Lakers press conference today. But the thing about Magic is, you know, I think he doesn't have a filter, which is great for us.
Yep.
But, you know, he in his world, I think a lot of people don't really talk bad about Magic. And so if he heard people talking bad about him, he just doesn't really like that, and he didn't want to be a part of it anymore, so he left.
But why would he go on television? I don't get it. He told us Rob Pelinka was stabbing his back behind his back, but at the same time, he also said he was mentoring him for that job where he was getting his back stabbed. He also said, I was going to leave after 3 years, and Rob was probably going to take the job anyways. I stayed for 2 years and 2 months. I mean, it doesn't really make all that much sense. And then he told us about the Luke Walton thing where there's just too many people involved. We already knew that. It didn't. He is a Laker through and through, as he said, but this doesn't do any good for the Lakers whatsoever, at all. So I don't understand why he went on television.
Yeah, the also perplexing part to me, because he talked about this too, is when he took the job, he told Jeannie Buss, look, I got these other business dealings that I'd like to deal with, continue to deal with. So I'm sort of going to be here part-time. And this is what he said on the show here again on First Take. But then on the flip side of that, he's like, but I'm the one in control, right? I'm the one calling the shots. And then when it started to appear that wasn't the case, he's like, that's an issue to me. It's just strange that you would be sort of a part-time head boss, the honcho. And I understand that happens across all organizations, but it's like, which one is it? Are you really invested in this and calling the shots and you're there day to day and doing all the dirty work? Or are you not? And maybe there are a bunch of sort of too many cooks in the kitchen, but have their say as well because they're around the team more. So I guess what I'm saying, it looked like it was flawed from the get-go here. And then that to me, then sort of that problem or why that became an issue should maybe fall on Jeannie Buss. That's where it starts. That's where the tier down, the structure of the pyramid, it starts with her up there. And this was weird to begin with.
Magic said he wanted to fire Luke, but then kind of got overruled. Magic leaves and they fired him anyway. That's what I don't understand. It's like if they wanted to fire him, why not just let Magic do it?
Right. And
what changed?
You say that it's nice that he's unfiltered, but this is just all his side of things too,
right.
His biased opinion too. And like you said, Pelinka sort of said, no, he almost seemed shocked by these accusations. But who do you believe here? It's probably a little bit between both of them, right? It's very, very weird, but very exciting. It's very fun for whatever reason. All right, try next one.
Our last headline is from NBC Sports. Damian Lillard admits he has separated ribs, but won't use it as an excuse. Is this news?
Well, the way he's been playing, he's been bothered by something, clearly. He hasn't.
Yeah, the Warriors' defense.
Well, but also, I mean, he's just been off. He hasn't had that same energy that he had in those first two series, I think. And I think partly it is to do with that injury, even if he doesn't want to use it as an excuse, because I think everyone's expecting a little bit better from him in this series. But if he's bothered and he can't shoot and he can't play the way that he would like to, I think it's more than just the Warriors' defense. I think he's carrying something and he's trying to not use that as any sort of excuse for the Blazers being in a 3-0 hole.
He's not using it as an excuse, and either should we, really, because it wasn't an issue in the second round when he wasn't himself either. And then, for a game and a half until he was injured in that incident there with Kevon Looney. Yes, both can be true. He's not playing all that well, and he's playing with injuries, just like we're watching Kawhi Leonard. Everybody is injured right now, including Damian Lillard.
Yeah, and we saw where it happened. Looney accidentally falling on top of him. I'm sure that would have hurt, but it's really the Warriors' defense that have completely locked him up, blitzed him, made him get the ball out of his hands and try and make these other Blazers beat him. And he's talked about that as well.
Yeah.
He's like, it feels like there's 2 or 3 guys around me all the time, but that credit's got to go to the Warriors' defense, in my opinion. We'll see Game 4 tonight, though. Lily, when we come back, very solid play.
Oh, yeah, it's a beauty.
Game 4 between the Warriors and Blazers tonight on ESPN. Warriors up 3-0. There's Steph Curry coming in a cool leather jacket.
Fun.
Yeah, hey. There's Damian Lillard. He's going to play despite the rib injuries. No excuses. Andre Iguodala, though, sounds like he is not going to be playing in Game 4, so could help the Blazers extend this series. We will find out again tonight on ESPN. All right, we asked you, what's your favorite awkward interview? Like the time Stan Van Gundy and Dwight Howard talked about Diet Pepsis. No, it was very weird.
A lot of great answers, but the best one, no doubt, is from Fanlord, who says it really doesn't get any more awkward than Lee Ellis interviewing Kyle Korver about shooting threes and also how good his mom was at high school basketball.
She scored 70 or something like that in a game.
Pretty impressive.
Kyle got it from somewhere, didn't he?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All
Too bad he couldn't pass it on to you.
All right, Lee, VSP.
Yeah, this is a beautiful one here from the Bucks. I mean, this is classic VSP. Look at this ball just fizz around. Everyone gets a touch. A little bit of a passport play there too. A few different nationalities. Finishes with big Brook Splash Mountain from downtown. Here it goes again. Look at this ball.
Little fizz.
Yeah.
Nice little penetration there. Kick, swing it.
Biggest man in the world knocks down a 3. That's what I call a very solid play.
He's big. He's not that big.
He's big.
He's the biggest player in the league.
He's
huge.
huge.
He's not Taco. All right. Not Taco Trey Kirby. The other
Taco Fall.
Yeah. All right. Starters Drop Podcast tomorrow. It's on a Tuesday. Get your tweets and your emails in right now. Hit us up at #thestarters or email us thestarters@nba.com. That's it for us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Chris Bosh is doing a lot in retirement, including becoming a superhero.
Brace tonight, people.
Yeah.